Hey, what's up, guys? Had to clear my throat. Well, welcome back to Intelligence Maxing Day 41. So, today's episode, I'm going to go over the datathon challenge that I've been working on. And this is part 3 or part 4 of the series. I'm not entirely sure. I kind of lost track, so I might go back and change this, but I titled this part 3 for right now. So, pretty much to recap, this datathon is a competition hosted by my school, and what we're doing is given a data set about MBA financials, revenues, expenses, operating income of each MBA team, and we're also given data about cities in the US and also cities in not cities, but countries internationally. And our prompt is use the data sets that were provided and also external data to pitch 2 different cities to create an MBA expansion team, and use whatever data you can find, use whatever, I guess you could say, theory or assumptions, maybe reasoning that you can to defend your answer. So pretty much, big idea, pitch 2 cities where the MBA should expand their team and why. In today's episode, I'm going to go over what I'm primarily going to be working on for this project. So my team and I, we talked about some of the roles that we should be doing. And for me, I volunteered to do the financial forecasting part of this. So forecasting revenues, expenses, startup costs, operating income, being able to do all of that for a specific city expansion. In this case, I'm probably going to go with Seattle. Well, actually, I am going to go with Seattle. I think that's one of the more logical places to expand the MBA. And maybe I'll get into that in a later stream. But today's stream, I just want to focus on how do I forecast revenues, how do I forecast expenses, how do I forecast net income. Okay, so going into this, I'm going to use the most recent data source that we have, so the financials for MBA teams, but I also will need to find some external data. It's difficult because the MBA, I think it's a privately held organization. These teams are, in a sense, some type of cartel where they have an agreement between each other and also a profit-sharing arrangement, I believe, as well. So it's difficult to access public data for the financial information for specific teams in general. Now, I'm going to try my best to find some things. I'm going to try my best to find relevant data sets that can help me with my analysis and my projections, but I think that's the kind of bias I might have going forward. But I'm going to take a look at the more specific prompt that was given, just so I can understand a bit better what I need to project here. Okay, so there's really 3 different questions. There's 3 different questions that we need to answer here. I'm going to copy and paste them. Okay. So how much capital will the MBA need to spend to cover the costs associated with the new location? Estimate the annual revenue generated for the team's major revenue streams. How long will it take to break even? Perform an analysis on the best sponsor for this MBA team, considering factors such as brand alignment, social media engagement, and potential financial impact. Okay, so with Seattle, I think potential expenses that I can come up with. We're going to need arena costs, player expenses. Advertising. I'd say those are probably the three biggest player expenses, maybe also personnel, corporate expenses. So I'm thinking these are maybe people that work for the front office operations, advertising. I think these are probably going to be the biggest expenses for an NBA team. The arena cost, so upkeep, maybe construction, upkeep, security, right? We also have player expenses. I probably imagine that player expenses is going to be the most expensive portion of an NBA, I guess an NBA team's expenses. That might differ. I think the Warriors, they had around 600 million in expenses for the most recent season, 2022-2023, while I think their player expense is around 200-300 million. So there's the idea of a salary cap in the NBA that I was looking into. Now, it doesn't seem like it's a hard salary cap in the sense that if you go over this 140, I think maybe now it's 140 to 150 million dollars. If you go over that, you're not penalized, at least to a severe extent. I think there's some maybe regulations and loopholes involved. So companies, I guess you could say companies, but more so teams like the Golden State Warriors, they were able to have a higher player expense in the 2022-2023 season compared to the actual NBA salary cap. Now, how they did that, that's where I said there's loopholes to this. I'm not entirely sure. So I'm going to have to think about that. Now, advertising, maybe TV advertising. I'd also assume merch, but maybe merch is also... I have a hard time believing merch is going to... Actually, sorry, this will be revenue. Okay, TV advertising, maybe billboards, YouTube. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I guess social media ads. TV advertising probably isn't as big of an industry as it once was. Today, I'd assume probably biggest advertising costs are going to come from social media, YouTube. Billboards, maybe, maybe not. Okay, merch. So revenue streams. I think biggest revenue streams are going to be first, ticket sales. And then second, broadcasting rights. Third, merch probably, and then food/drinks at arenas, and sponsors. Okay. Yeah, I think this is probably what I would think could be a potential option. Sponsors, that's the last question. When I think of Seattle, I think like most people, Amazon has the biggest presence there. It's their headquarters. I'll take a look at some other places too. So this is maybe a good preliminary. This is, okay, let me start from the top. This is probably going to be a good preliminary breakdown of how we should think about revenues, expenses, and sponsors for the company. I keep saying company because I'm used to doing stock pitches. But this is a team, so it's a bit different here. All right, I just realized that my screen froze again, so I'm going to change that real quick. Nice. Here we go. Alright, I'm gonna take a look at, so Seattle population. (2023). Okay, we'll call this the Seattle metropolitan area. Okay, what does metropolitan mean? So I guess it's a large city. What is the difference between a metropolitan area and a city? Okay, so I guess when we think about Seattle, there's the city, and then there's kind of the greater metropolitan area. So I just looked at ChatGPT. What is the difference between city and metropolitan area? It seems like on a big general level, cities are just mainly describing this area that's governed by a single, I guess you could call it a city government, local government, city council maybe. That's probably going to refer to the city of Seattle. Now, metropolitan area can refer to a region that encompasses cities, towns, counties that are somehow tied economically or physically through transportation systems. And I guess you could say, sphere of influence of the different counties and cities in the metropolitan area all have effects on the different regions enclosed in it. Okay. So you have, let's say, the metropolitan areas. Okay, so when we think about notable cities, we have Seattle. I think that's going to be a big one. Then we have Bellevue. It's also going to be a pretty big one. All right. And then we also have Tacoma. Okay, so I guess you could call this notable counties. So counties, I think this is going to be King, Pierce, Snohomish as the 15th largest metropolitan statistical area. Okay. So Wikipedia. Let's see if there's a metropolitan map. So US metropolitan map. Okay, it doesn't seem like there's one for the entire. Yeah, this doesn't seem to be a huge one. Wait. Detroit, Warren, Riverside, San Bernardino, San Francisco, excuse me. San Diego, Chula Vista, Carlsbad, Tampa, San Petersburg, Clearwater. Okay, it's actually pretty surprising. So Columbia, Baltimore, Towson is pretty high up in the metropolitan area. I would honestly not expect that. Okay, so we call this the Seattle, Tacoma, Bellevue metropolitan area. So this is 14th largest metropolitan area with around, I think it's 4 million people in 2022. So, oh my god, okay. This is from Visual Capitalist. I think it's okay. So let me try to define what the idea of a metropolitan area refers to: a region that encompasses multiple cities, counties with similar with economic, transportation, and cultural ties. Right. So let's take a look then maybe at the Seattle Metro. just trying to understand here what's going on. So transportation system. Okay, where is King County? The Seattle County map. Sorry, I guess it should be Washington. Okay, I'm gonna save this image actually. Washington County map. Put this in datathon. Oh, it's a GIF. Interesting. I wonder if I'll be able to Washington County map.gif. I think that's how I do it. And then if I want to label it, I just put in Washington County map. Okay. Yeah, let's see here. So King County Metro. Take a look here. Map. So this is a pretty substantial map. Can't really see it that well. Let's take a look if we can. How many people live in King County? So you have an absurd amount of people living in King County. It seems like 2.2. And you have a pretty substantial subway system. Okay. King County subway. Yeah, this subway system seems like it's pretty sophisticated, and that surely is not going to hurt. Oh, okay, that's perfect. So King County subway map. Copy relative path. I'm gonna rename this maybe. King County subway. Okay. PNG. Alright. I'll leave it as this for now. Nice. So I'm going to take a look if Seattle has an arena. Alright, so it seems like the Climate Pledge Arena is already a thing. So Climate Pledge Arena, call it cost, seating capacity. 117,000 seats, largest indoor arenas in the US. Toyota Center, Wells Fargo Arena. Max capacity. So for basketball, Capital One Arena can do a substantial amount. Okay. Okay, so what I'm thinking is we have, let's say, the Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle. And it seems like this is owned by the city of Seattle. So I think from, I'd say, a local government perspective, the city of Seattle would be happy to have another NBA team or just a NBA team come and use the Climate Pledge Arena as its home arena. I think that'll give the city of Seattle a substantial amount of revenue, an increase in revenue. And I wonder, how much does the Seattle Kraken pay for the Climate Pledge Arena? Okay, so this is interesting. Seattle Kraken and NHL expansion. Oops. So Seattle Kraken expansion. And delete this for now. Does my Seattle Kraken owner. Sorry, you have to see me do that. Okay, that looks fire. Seattle Kraken revenue. So where to get to? Okay, so I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick, but this goes back pretty deep. Let's take a look. Forbes, sports, money, data, revenue data. Okay, I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. Yeah. I'm back. I'm back. New York Knicks. Okay. So I'm going to take a look then again at some of these measures. 323 million operating income minus 36 minus 5. Wait, Seattle Kraken revenue. Okay, so I think based on the most recent revenue for Seattle Kraken, it's around 200 million. And then we can maybe add a hockey versus we'll call this NHL versus NBA popularity. Okay. So let's do NHL versus NBA viewership. Okay, I'm gonna copy this and put this here, but so this is saying that Jeremy Laura claims that viewership for NBA teams is almost twice the amount for NBA compared to NHL. So Forbes. Seattle Kraken had estimated 200 million in revenues. 2023 season. Okay. Use this as a baseline for NBA teams. So I think what we know for sure is that oh wait, and then also the Seattle Mariners, I think. Forbes. $396 million. Oh, who are the Mariners sponsors? Oh, wait. Seattle Kraken sponsors. Coors Light. Okay. So this is where I might want to look into Excel. And then also, okay, so Mariners, Kraken. '24. So baseball regular season. So when is the MLB regular season? Okay, so maybe we'll do season. Could call this the 2018 +1. Okay. 2024. Yes, I'm not entirely sure how they got this number. Seattle Mariners Forbes. Oh shoot. Wait, do the Mariners have this? Seattle Mariners revenue. Okay, so we have 363, 2021 is 313, 129, then 315, 320. I think this one was 393. So sources, statista. I'm gonna copy and paste this. So the Kraken, let's say we also have, okay, so this is where we might want to take a look at the Forbes Seattle Kraken thing. $191, also 191. 197. Okay, and then we also have, let's say, the MLB Seattle, call it NBA team. Say we have around 450. Just see 450. This one. Right. We also have some expenses. Initially, maybe it's going to cost 650 minus 200 million. So 200 million. Then call this their hurdle rates. IRR. So this is equal to IRR. Oops. Sum. Here we go. Okay. %. Yeah, that's pretty fucking good. Hurdle rates, let's say 20%. IRR on top NBA teams. What is the internal rate of return for an NBA team? Okay, I'm gonna read this article and then I'll probably stop there. Gonna need a dance practice, shower, and then get to some other stuff. Internal rates. Okay. Interesting. Forbes NBA valuations. I wonder if we could do this. Data sets. You know, I might download this. Oh, fuck. Okay, so let's use the hurdle rates. Let's try to compute the average value, the growth in the average value. So if you take 350 and then 509, take the geometric average, so growth is equal to minus 509 divided by 509, so it's grown 6 times. And then we take this, we raise this to the 1 divided by 10 power minus 1. So it's a 20% return. Yeah, it's a good hurdle rate. Okay. I'd say it's pretty solid. So pretty much what I did here was I took the average value of an NBA team, subtracted by the average value of an NBA team 10 years ago, computed the growth rate. So this is going to be around 600%. And then in order to find the internal rate of return, it's just the geometric average. And what I mean by geometric average is it's whatever if you were to take our number here, which is 6.5, we would have to take the nth root of 6.5, where n is the number of years that has passed. So it's 10 years, and then we subtract by 1. So then we get, what if we do 9? Yeah. Then we get, subtract 1, then we get 20%. So anything above 20%, I'd say it's a pretty solid IRR, internal rate of return. Okay. And then maybe we should add some type of future spread. So I'm going to add average NBA team values statista. Okay. 2023, 2013. So I'm going to save this as NBA forecast. Okay, that's good. And then add this here. So this is the franchise average franchise value statista. Okay, so with that, I'm probably gonna end it here. So I was able to make a preliminary forecast just using some of the information from the Seattle Krakens and also the Seattle Mariners. Thought about some of the population statistics. So there's around 4 million people in the Seattle, Bellevue, Tacoma metropolitan area. And that's going to be a lot of customers and a lot of fans. So that's, I guess you could divide the statistics, maybe get some revenue per fans. Might do that actually before I forget. So let's do estimated population. So there's around 4 million. 4.1, 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.5, 4.6. Revenue per fan. Let's call this. Okay, per fan, we'll define fan as resident of the area. Okay, is equal to 250 divided by 4. And is equal to residents of the area. Okay. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty solid. So with that, gonna sign off for now, and then I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Peace.